The third aspect of this is strategy. Strategy is a hugely important role within a global team. This meant that if the communication failed, if the culture differences were too much, perhaps an effective strategy would have meant that this Sun Microsystems was able to effectively render the service that HS Holdings had asked. So we see that the strategy was left out. So what went wrong? Well, as a global manager, Greg James should have been savvy to the point that he knew that he needed to effectively manage a strategy that could have coordinated different subsidiary groups around the world to effectively manage emergencies. And in this case, he wasn't able to render that service. So it failed partly because there was not the idea where to go once the emergency occurred. So when it happened, he was unable to respond. They didn't know what to do or where to go. And then when the service was actually needed to be rendered, who's there to fix it? And so we see that these basic strategic means were left out and weren't able to be accomplished because there was not an effective strategy in place. As a global manager, Greg James should have effectively set this up from the beginning and been able to say, this is what we need to do, this is where we need to go when these things happen, and this is who's in charge. And it should have been him in charge, but seeing that the time change and all these communication errors and the cultural difference made such a big deal, it meant that we were unable to see an effective result or solution to the HS Holdings Group.